I was listening to Dan Harris from 10% Happier the other day, and he was talking about well, they had a whole class on self love and self compassion, and it was really great because they had people calling in with questions about it, and most of them were going, I just don't even get it. Like, I understand how to love other people, but like, it was so reassuring to know that most people are like me and don't have a really good idea about how to go about that. But one of the things that Dan said that I loved so much was he said that for a lot of us, our self compassion, our practice, any of our practices, our self love practice, our spiritual practice, he said there's a sort of like grimness about it. I don't know about you all, but I've never related to anything more. I was like, oh my God. Sometimes, right? It's sort of like must get on the mat, must be better, must do the practice, must love myself, whatever it might be. And so I loved that he named that. And I thought that for all of us, I could just wish for all of us that we could sit here and if you have any of that sort of grimness about, especially as we come into a new year, where often there's this feeling of like, I'm supposed to change, I'm supposed to have resolutions, but let's just not give that any more fuel, at least not for right now. That story that, there's something fundamentally wrong with us. And actually, let's lie down. So go ahead and lie down on your back or on your side, or you could even lie on your stomach if you like, but getting really close down to the floor. And any story that there's something in you that needs to be fixed, just for right now, let's not fuel that storyline. Let's disengage from that storyline and look inside for what brilliance we can acknowledge right now. You have a mind that works and a heart that's loving and the ability to see and feel. And there's some really mystical brilliance about all that. And so take a few breaths, just we'll begin with the skin. Actually, let's begin with the breath, just noticing the breath and sort of allowing the breath to organically integrate with your awareness. Your awareness and your breathing start to connect to each other. That's it. You're just lying there and you're just breathing and just noticing. Nothing to grasp onto, nothing to figure out, just sort of feeling your breath, its presence at your edges. Just lovely, open, spacious breathing. And perhaps even feeling how it's not just restricted to the container of your lungs, how all around you, the whole cosmos is breathing. The planet is breathing, everything is breathing. Inside of you and outside of you, there is no difference. Just sitting here with your body, breathing in a soft and spacious way. And then traveling over the surface of your skin, your largest sensory organ, feeling all the little hairs matching all the nerve endings, all the pores in your skin breathing. And then go one more layer, go down internally. Start to feel your body from the inside. Feel the overall weight and mass of your body on the earth. Notice the bones, notice any aches or pains, and notice where it feels good. Notice where you know or where you imagine your internal organs to be, what that might feel like if you could sense them, their weight. Examine your skeleton. Let your mind travel all around your skeleton. Feel its weight. Imagining the connective tissue that binds the bones together, the blood that circulates everywhere, just feeling all of it and noticing perhaps how when you do this, that it really brings you quite clearly into this moment. It's really simple and lovely. Neuroscientifically, you're making a shift from this sort of like busy yada 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 part of the brain to a more stabilizing and positive network just by doing this. Can you feel that? And as you continue to sense inside and outside your body, might you also sense how right here, right now, somehow something's fundamentally okay. Somewhere inside, somewhere outside, things are fundamentally okay. Hmm. And however you are today, you can be any way that you are. And you are absolutely 1000% worthy of care and rest and affection. So beginning there, I'm trying to hold that in our hearts as we practice today. You could go ahead and hug your knees into your chest, give them a good squeeze, rock around a little bit. We're going to work a whole lot with the lower body, the hips in particular today. And then we'll take it into a happy baby. So go ahead and stick your feet up into the air with bent knees and whatever you might be able to grab hold of. It might be the feet, might be behind the thighs, anywhere at all, and any amount of movement. You could wiggle around, you could kick your feet around or rock. But trying today, let's try to be in a place where you can feel the subtlety of your living matrix. You know, the energy inside you and all of the tissues inside you, this whole living matrix of tissue and electricity, it doesn't like to be forced. And you might notice that, right? If you push too hard, something disappears. There's some aspect of the yoga practice that goes away when you push too hard. So where's that place? Where can you be on the good side of the edge, on the still really subtle feeling side of the edge? And then we'll keep the right leg up in the air and just drop your left foot to the floor with a bent knee. So half happy baby, where same here, you could rock a little bit, you could move things around, but trying to stay, that your movement is sort of calm and attentive. And then we'll take this into a twist. You could let go of that right foot with your right hand. Take your left hand to your right knee and just start to carry it across the body over towards the side. So just a simple twist. You're on your back and you're bringing the right knee over the body with the left hand and just kind of spilling out onto your back heart here. The arms can go anywhere they like. You can stretch around a little bit, sort of push out like an octopus or an amoeba and feel your way out into the space around you. Let your limbs start to explore. Imagine your bones kind of pulling apart at the seams. That breath could sweep through your joints and clean your house a little bit. And then as you come onto your back now, hook that right foot over your left knee, like half ankle to knee on your back. You can gather your hands around behind your left thigh and scoop the legs in towards your chest. And here too, a little bit of a rock from side to side might be nice, just a nice introduction to the shape. And then the leg that's not hooked, the left leg, kick it straight up into the air. Reach it up like an antenna to the sky. Keep everything else as is. Just bring your hands around to the base of your skull and clasp them just at the very base of your skull. And go ahead and start to peel your head and shoulders up. Let your navel sink down heavy like a stone. If that's plenty, you stay. If you want to add one more layer, you might also lift the pelvis straight up so that the legs don't come towards you, but they go just straight up into the air. It's not easy, but you might try that. And if that's too much, you're always free to change your mind, take it back a stop on the train, and we'll stay. Keep the navel dropping, keep the shoulders lifting, keep the breath, even if it's tiny, keep the breath moving. Can the face be sort of non-reactive and stay really soft? And then let that relax, but keep the legs the way they are. You could just bend your left knee again, drop the head, release your arms. Actually, let's take the hands one more time around behind the head and just behind the head one more time. And you can lift your head and shoulders up off the ground one more time. And then try to keep your right foot there, but just stretch your left leg straight out in front of you until it hovers just above the ground. Yeah. And then can you peel one more rib, perhaps one more little molecule of your shoulders up off the mat? And then hook the foot back again. Bring that left knee in, hook it. Use the left knee without the hands. Just use the knee to press the right shin towards your chest. You can let your head rest. Ooh, okay, enough of that on that side. Go ahead and just release. Shake your legs out. You could put them on the ground or you could kick them up in the air and shake them out. Just kind of wash that whole side off before we do all that on the other side. So we'll start again from the happy baby. 2 feet up in the air, happy baby. And let's try to live here for a little bit. So just kind of once you do your whatever wiggling it takes, get the wiggles out. And then maybe you could let it settle and you could just be here without needing to manage or fix. Just, in the imperfectness of it and just let it be as it is. We're not trying to like find some like perfect static pose here. But just when you get still, you can notice the tiny movements, the little micro movements as you breathe, the sort of little dance that happens even in stillness. And then go ahead and put the right foot down so you've got just the left foot and half happy baby. And the right foot's on the floor. And here too, so just a little bit of wiggling, but then trying to let it just sort of settle for a moment. And we'll take that into a twist. So you can let go of the foot with your left hand and bring your right hand to the knee. And as you do that, start to carry the knee across and just come to your version of an early morning twist. Let yourself spread out. Let your whole body feeling again, like we did in the beginning, the weight of the body on the earth, feeling your skeleton's weight, sensing into your internal organs, your connective tissue, your blood, and how somehow in the midst of everything, somehow something fundamentally is just okay here. It's all right. Go ahead and roll onto your back. Hook your left ankle over your right thigh. Scoop your hands around behind that right thigh or around the shin and give the knees a little snuggle in towards your chest. That's it. And whether hips are quote unquote open or hips are tight, it's all just okay. You don't need to be any different than you are right now. I'll tell you, we sort of think of open hips as like this holy grail thing in yoga. But, from experience and from what I see in a lot of people with the very mobile hips, is those are the people that end up with pain, not the people that are tight. So, if you're a little tight there, great. Go ahead and now kick your right leg up to the sky. Reach that antenna up. Bring your hands around behind your skull. We'll keep the shape of the legs and try to peel the chest up off the ground. Maybe or maybe not, you're also lifting the pelvis. And, it might be sort of invisible, that lift, right? It's not very much, but you can feel it. Empty the navel down. Navel's an anchor all the way down to the bottom of the ocean. And then, if there's certain grimness about it, let's do more lightheartedness. As Peggy, who's here, would say, effervescence. I love that word, Peggy. Effervescence, more effervescence and less grim. You can let the head go for a moment. Bend your right knee again. Just take a breath here. Use the right knee to press the left leg towards your chest. And then we'll peel the head up one more time. Head and shoulders come up, and the right leg will start to float away. But your left foot is still staying there as best you can. You're trying to magnetize left foot towards your chest. Yeah, as the right leg floats out. And then you pull the right leg back in, hook it one more time, release the head, release the arms, unhook the legs, give them a shake out, shake them up, shake them down, do whatever you need to do to wash that all off. And then go ahead and rock yourself all the way up to sit. As you come up to sit, we're going to face the side of the mat today. So if you need to reorient, like if you want to turn your mat sideways, you might do that, but you also don't need to look at me that much, really, I don't think. So don't worry about it. So you're sitting facing your long side, the long side of your mat, and just go ahead and bring your hands behind you, your feet a little wider than your knees. Then we'll just start with some windshield wipers here. This is so good in my yin classes that I teach this pretty much every time. I don't think I've ever not taught it, because what it does is it's sort of, this is what my teacher says, that it tugs on lines of your connective tissue that wake up the whole living matrix inside you. So we're not just working the hips here. It's actually sort of like turning the lights on in the whole house, the bioelectricity, the hydration, the oxygenation, all the good stuff, and that whole wild living matrix inside of you that's everywhere. There's nowhere it's not. And so next time your knees go over to the right, I'll mirror you. Keep them there. Sit up tall. Take your hands, you're going to wrap your four fingers around your thumbs. So you have a little fist. Reach your knuckles back and lean out over that right shin just a little bit. Only go about halfway. And then press your leg bones down into the ground. That's it. And then come up, relax. Take your hands, interlace them over your heart. And then just go ahead and lean back a little bit. That's it. And come up again one more time, fist. We'll do this 3 times. So you're going to make that little fist, wrap your fingers around your thumbs. This time, take your legs, move your feet. See how there's an angle of the knee? Try to make that angle wider. So move your feet just a little bit away from your body. And then we'll do that one more time. So the arms reach back like wings, and you're leaning halfway out over that right leg and pushing your leg bones down into the ground. But try not to lose the sparkliness to it, the sweetness, the shimmer. So if it starts to get too grim, just call back your tenderness. Come on up. As you come on up, bring your hands to your heart, that soft interlace one more time. Lean back just a little bit. Try to press your legs down as you lean back. And then come on up, and we'll do it one more time. And so if this is plenty, you don't have to move the knees further away or the feet further away, but you might try, even if it's just an inch or a centimeter, moving the feet even further away from the body. And we could try that one more time. Thumbs in, fingers around, fists go back, and then just halfway in the direction of that right leg. Push the legs down, push the legs down. Come on up, bring the hands to the heart, soft interlace, press the legs down, lean back. And come on back up, bring your hands to the floor. Let's go back to windshield wipers. So just back and forth. And I don't know about you, but I feel that already. Like, what a difference in the feeling of my hips. It's just so nice to be really available for every nuance of sensation. Not miss it. So let's go to the other side. So drop your knees over to the left. Same thing, you'll sit up tall, you'll take your thumbs, wrap the 4 fingers around them, probably your feet, because when you come from windshield wipers, the angle's a little more narrow, and that's fine. And then we're gonna lean over the left leg and just pause there to really feel your legs. Press your legs down. Try to keep your face kind of non-reactive, and then come up, bring your hands to your heart, do a little bit of a lean back. Try to keep your legs as close to the ground as you can, and then come on up. So opening the feet a little bit away. So maybe they're more like 90-degree angles now. Hold the thumbs, reach the arms back, same thing. So lean forward just a little bit, and then turn the lights on. Then push the legs down, hug the muscle to the bone, like you could push your bones right through the floor. And as you come on up, hands find the heart, And just a little bit of a lean back, especially the left knee. Try to press it down as you lean back a little bit. And then one more time as you come up, you're going to maybe move the feet away a little more, but that's totally optional. If that feels like it's gone beyond where you need to be, don't do that. Make your fist lean over the left leg and then activate it. Turn everything on, push the legs down. Keep your face just sort of Mona Lisa like. Come on up. Last time, hands interlace over the heart, leaning back some amount, steady amount. Press the left leg down. And then release that. Come back to the center, windshield wipers again. Just wash it off, wash it off. So we'll go over to the right side. So drop your knees to the right, sit up tall. You can go right to that midway position, that 90 degree. Just open the feet out a little bit. Thumbs in, fingers wrap around, arms go back. Gonna go halfway and stay. Push your right shin down. And then come up, release, hands to the heart. Stay tall this time. Think about your spine. Love the image of like a plume of steam or a plume of incense smoke. Your spine just sort of floating up inside your body. Your hands on your heart. Keep the left knee down. Try to just lift that lower left leg up off the floor, the foot, the shin, but not the knee. Woo! And relax. One more time, same like that. So we'll first lean forward, reach the arms back, hold your thumbs, go halfway. Push the right leg down, push both legs down. Let the skin stay non-reactive, not letting that grimness creep in, keeping it lighthearted. And then come on up, hands to the heart. And as you stay tall, you're gonna press that left knee down into the floor, but try to lift the left foot and shin up off the ground. Woo! And you can put that foot down. Keep your hands on your heart. So the back leg, the left leg, can you lift it just straight up off the floor, right where it is? Just keep it bent, but just lift it up. And then slowly bring it around, slowly bring it in front so that you can step either over the right knee or just inside. So either way, stepping over or stepping inside of it, doesn't matter. Pause there, let your spine grow a little longer, kind of come out of the low back if it's sort of dumped into a little puddle back there. And now we're just going to go backwards. So slow motion, pick up that left leg, start to open it out to the left side again. You'll feel it turn in and you're just going to replace it back to where it was. So we'll do that one more time, but this time try to keep that elegance of the spine. Try to keep yourself from puddling in the low back. And so first just thinking like, gloriously, magnificently upright, crown to the sky, and trying to keep that as much as you can as you try to lift that left leg. And noticing if like your eyebrows try to do all the work or your fingers start to get a little like grabbing onto each other, trying to stay as non-reactive as possible. Bring it slowly around. Same thing. So either inside or outside that right knee, doesn't matter. And then we're going to shift forward onto that left foot. So you can use your hands, start to walk your whole body forward. And coming to a supported version of a warrior 3 on the left foot. So you can use your hands. If you want to use blocks or anything else under the hands, please do. The right leg is going back. The left leg is anchored on the floor. If any leg is bending here, let it be your standing leg. They can both straighten. You could really try to straighten them both out. But definitely that top one, really nice and strong and straight. If you're feeling like you got a little more juice, you could bring your hands to your heart in a prayer, or you could even reach them back behind you. And then we're going to go so slow, coming to stand on that left foot for tree pose. So pressing into the left foot to lift your torso up. And then you could slowly bring that right leg in. You could grab the ankle, pull it up anywhere on that left leg, wherever it fits, might be below the knee or even on the floor. And then finding a tree pose that fits you. If you want to be near a wall, you could do that. Hands can be in prayer. They can dance around above you. They can feel their way. You can do a little bit of like octopusing your arms out into the space around you. You know, all those little suckers that they have on their arms, those octopus, every one of them is like a little brain. Everyone is like a whole nervous system. Can you imagine having little brains, thousands of them all over your arms and legs and everything, just sensing every nuance, every change of temperature, the wind, all around you. So let's take that all back in reverse from the tree. You're going to go back to the warrior three on the left foot. And then you can use your hands here. We're going to come right back down to sitting. So you can bend your left knee, bring your hands down. As you come down to sit, you're going to spiral, kind of tuck that right leg behind you. Coming right back to where we were, sitting down. Hands to the heart. Look at that left leg, pick it up, slow motion. Take it around and right back to that 90-90 position. And then hands behind you, windshield wiper, wash it off, wash it off. And then we'll do that over to the other side. So dropping knees to the left. And starting right away with that medium position, 90 degrees or so, bend in the knees. Hands behind you, wrap the thumbs, lean it forward. And as you come up, hands to the heart, you're going to press the right knee down into the floor. Try to pick up the right foot. And put it down, repeat. Arms go back, you lean forward. Press your legs down. Power through the lower body, light through the upper body. Come on up, hands to the heart. Try to press the right knee down, lift the right foot up. And one more time, wrap and lean. Come on up, hold your heart, lift the right foot. Put it down, keep your hands at your heart. We're looking at that back leg now. And first just sing, if we can even get it up off the floor, to bring it around front and step it either just sort of in front of your left shin, or it might be over the knee, but no need to like grasp too hard for anything here. And then we'll go right back. So picking it up and going slowly back around until you're in that pinwheel position again with the legs. So this time, the spine, right? Out of the low back, no puddles, but everything just glorious and lifting and widening and opening in all directions. Keep your magnificence as best you can as you pick up that right leg. Slowly coming out of the low back. Bring the leg around, bring it around. We're going to put the foot down so that you can shift yourself onto it and come to the warrior three on the right foot. So hands can stay on the ground and you can find your way here. And as you find your way, you might straighten both legs, or you might for sure try to straighten that left leg back behind you. Maybe the hands come up, but they certainly don't have to. Yeah. And then into a tree. Let it be as wobbly as it needs to be. That left foot, you can use your hand to pull it up onto the right leg anywhere. You can use your octopus tentacles to feel around into the space, feeling your skin, that largest sensory organ. Feeling the weight of your body on the earth, feeling your skeleton, feeling how something somewhere is fundamentally okay. And then we'll go back the other way. So flying through that warrior three, on the left leg, floating back. You can bend your standing leg, bring your hands down so you can kind of tuck the left knee behind you or underneath you to sit down. Once you do that, you can bring your hands again to the heart, thinking plume of steam with the spine. Bring the right leg back around. Set it down, hands behind you, back and forth with the knees, washing it off. So just pause for one moment. I want to show you the next little bit. So we'll do this whole sequence one more time, but there could be some add-ons and they're all maybes, okay? So you might decide yes or no with these things. So we'll do this without hands, perhaps. But anytime you need them, your hands are there. But we could try, and I'll show you first. Don't do it yet. I'm just going to show you. So no hands, a little windshield wiper, and then adding on a little stand up on the knees. And if you want to use the hands, you use the hands. And then possibly one more add-on would be standing up, reaching back and taking a little bit of a back bend. Doesn't have to be a ton. And going back the other way. Okay, and then it'll be the same when we get here, only when we lean, we're gonna go as far down as you can go and then come up and hover just a little bit. And then maybe, this is all a maybe, I'm gonna pull this foot in to make it a little easier. You could try no hands, bringing this leg around and coming up into the warrior three. And if you need your hands, you've got hands, you can use them, okay? And then I'll talk you through from there. There'll be some other stuff. So go ahead and start with your windshield wipers a couple more times. You could try it without hands. You could bring your hands to your heart. Yeah. And if that was plenty challenging enough, you stay with that. And if you want a little more, you could try dropping knees to one side and standing up on them. And you might decide, no, not today. Try the other side. If you want even a little more than that, but only take what you need, you could stand on your knees. So the leg that's behind you, that hand would go back to reach towards that calf, ankle, or foot. And the other arm will lift sort of like an asymmetrical half camel pose. And then you could let it go and go the other way. Try it one more time, each side. So whether it's simple, whether it's that middle step of just standing on the knees, or whether it's all the way to the back bend, you do you. Yeah, and the next time you drop your knees over to the right, just keep them there. Don't come up to stand on them. Just keep them in that seated 90-90 position. Grab your thumbs, send your arms back. Go to whatever's your deepest here. Go all the way down to your most mobile point here. And then come up from there just an inch or two and stay. So going all the way down and then just an inch or two. So you got to work for it. You got to work for it, but without the grimness. Keep it effervescent. Keep your leg bones pressing down. Keep your face kind of non-reactive as best you're able to. Keep pushing the legs down. Come all the way back up, hands to the heart. And you can pull that right foot in a little closer to you. That'll make this transition easier. So you're gonna look at that left leg like, okay, here we go. Tall spine, right? Magnificent plume of steam. Pick up the left leg. Whew. But realize how heavy they are, right? Bring it slowly around. Use your hands or don't use your hands. You might try without hands, and then if you need them, you use them. You could step over the knee or the other side, whichever way, and then trying to stand up on that left foot to whatever version of a warrior three. So hands down, hands on the heart, hands back. If you're really feeling it, you could reach your arms forward. Notice how your heart rate might change, and if that's too much, bring them back. Tree, but don't let your right foot touch your leg and don't touch your ankle. Do it all without hands. You could bring your hands to your heart or reach them in the sky, but pull that right foot up and just hover it an inch from your left thigh or knee or wherever it might be. How about a tree blows in the wind here? Start to tip over that right leg. Let your arms just kind of float. Come to a side bend where you lean your spine over that right thigh. Yeah. And then coming back up, you could bring your hands to your heart, back through the warrior three. We're going to end up now in a standing split. So if you need to bend your standing knee, go for it. Whatever it takes to get your hands on the ground. And the right leg, antenna up into the sky. And I know some of you might like to hop around here if you want to do a little bit of a hopping on that left foot. thinking about a possible handstand practice, go for it. Otherwise, just stay, let your body hang over that long leg. Keep stretching through the right knee, reaching the antenna toes of your right foot up into the sky. And then we'll change it a little bit here. The sequence is going to shift. So that right leg, start to lower the right shin down next to your left foot. Are we in right leg? Yeah, right leg, right? Yeah. So you're going to come to a half kneeling. You're kneeling on the right side. I'll mirror you. And you got your left foot on the ground. There you go. And then can you perhaps walk your hands back here? And maybe lift the hips a little bit, lift the pelvis, lift the heart, tilt the head back. And as you come on down, you could sit on the inside of your right foot. So you could scoot the foot over a little bit. And here's where I asked you to have maybe a pillow or a block or something. If you wanted to sit on some support, you could do that. So you're in this half folded Virasana position and the other foot is on the floor. And then we'll take a twist here. So you're going to twist over towards that left side and you might hug the knee. It might be really subtle, just an interlace of the hands around the left leg. Everything in the low body sort of like pulling in to hug the midline, and then you twist from the navel. Some of you might want to hook the right elbow over, bring the hands to prayer, and twist. Beautiful. Untwisting, coming back to center. We'll try to take it backwards. So if you're on the block, you maybe just move your hands back a little bit and find any amount of leaning back. And if it's plenty to stay upright, you can pile all the things you need under you. Some of you who might not be on a block or a pillow could think about going down onto your back, but there's no contest at all. You want to stay. Remember that living matrix, it does not like to be forced. And so noticing if it starts to feel forced and you lose that subtlety of the feeling of your energetic body, your electricity, then come back a little bit. Come on up if you've gone down onto your elbows or hands or shoulder blades. Come on back to a tall spine. You can undo the legs, just bring that folded leg out in front of you. Give your legs a little shake. And then we'll just turn back towards the side of the mat and open the legs into a straddle. And so here, taking those fists one more time, thumbs in, fingers around, press your leg bones down. Doesn't have to be the widest straddle you've ever done. You want to really be able to access the power of your legs pressing down. Knuckles reach back and just go halfway. And as you go halfway, push your legs down. Push them down like you could just go right through the floorboards, right through the earth's crust, all the way. Just keep pressing them down, imagining you're pushing your legs right down until they reach the hot, molten center of the planet. And then come on back up. Take your hands to your heart with that soft interlace. Try to keep your legs pushing down. Lean back. Lean back, try to keep your legs down. You know, the moment you feel any part of your leg lift up, then that's it. Don't go any farther than that. Try to stay where you can keep your legs pressing down. And come on back up. Take your hands behind you. Bring your feet in a little wider than your hips. Last time, back and forth, back and forth. So imagining pulling on a little thread that lights up the whole thing. Nowhere that's not getting hydrated right now inside you. Nowhere that's not getting oxygenated, electrified. Drop your knees over to the left. Come to sit tall, 90-90 position, thumbs in, wrap the fingers around, and you're going all the way this time. All the way down as far as you can. And then when you get there, come up 1 or 2 inches. Stay there. Press the legs down, non-reactive face. Easy eyebrows. That's it. Come all the way up, hands to your heart. So maybe, oh, I forgot, hang on. No, we forgot to do the back bend. Go back. That was such a good part. You know, we need some back bend. We got to balance it out. So come back to this back and forth, windshield wipers. Yeah, yeah. And adding, right, no hands or standing on the knees. Can't be all forward bends all day long, right? And then you could add that half asymmetrical camel is such a nice relief after all of this hip work. And so you could do a couple of those. Yeah, yeah. And then landing with your knees going over to the left. No hurry. Whenever you get there, hands on the heart. You got time. Don't worry. When you do get there, you could pick up that right leg. Remember, magnificent. No puddling, but just all luxuriously long. Pick up the right leg. Slowly you're bringing it around. And hands or no hands, right? So if you need your hands, they're there. You use them. Gonna step on that right foot to come into warrior 3. And you choose where your arms are gonna be. That's it. You can let it be as wobbly as it needs to be. Turn that into a floating tree. So as you stand up, that left knee climbs up outside your chest, but you're not using your hand if you can help it. And maybe you're letting the foot just hover an inch from the thigh. And you could stay, or you could try doing a little bit of a side bend over that left leg. Yeah. Just let your octopus arms reach out in all directions, and then coming back up through the warrior 3. Like you're underwater, you got to push your tentacles through the water. You feel every molecule of air touch your skin. Bring your hands down. If you need to bend your knee, do it. Standing split, or some of you hopping on that foot up and down a few times, like a maybe handstand, a hint of a handstand, an imaginary handstand, or you're just letting it all pour down over that standing leg. Yes. And then when we come down, you're going to take your left knee, shin, come down to half kneeling. The left knee settling down inside the right foot. And as you come down to this sort of crouch position, walk the hands behind you. Pelvis goes up any amount. Head goes back any amount. And then coming down to sit inside the left foot. So gather your props if you need some things to support you here. Blankets, pillows, blocks, everything. It's all legal. You can use any of it. And then we'll take a twist. So first finding just that length, that elegance of the spine. You could hold the knee with your hands and do a little turn. You could tuck the left arm across, as long as you don't lose your magnificence. Unwrap yourself. And then the invitation perhaps to go backwards. And you could just see, and if this is not good for this knee to be bent underneath you like that, you could even just do it with your feet out. And you could do any little hint of a back bend here. You might come down onto your elbows and do it that way. But if you can, you got your left knee bent and you're coming down, just some variation of a half virasana. Good. I see lots of cool, interesting variations. I love that. You do you. It is absolutely fundamentally okay, inside and out, somehow, in the midst of it all. Go ahead and come on back up, and you could loosen the legs out, give them a little wiggle around. If you had a block or pillow underneath you, you could take it out and open yourself out to that straddle facing the side one last time. And this time, just a good old fashioned walk out in between the legs. You don't need fists, you don't need to push anything down. You could just do a good old fashioned stretchy, wide legged forward fold. Hmm. Balancing that out with just a little bit of a back bend. Walk your hands back in. You could take your right hand behind you. Try to keep legs straight. Lift the pelvis up and reach your left arm back. So it could be more of a side bend, or it could be any amount of back bend, and then changing sides, coming down. Other hand comes behind. Sweep the right arm up and across the sky. You could do that a few times. You could play with it, that as you come up, you could take more back bend. You could heel toe your feet in a little closer. So you're almost like a wheel and come down. So just playing a little bit here, keeping straight legs, doing it with bent knees, playing any which way. You can bend one knee and then the other knee, just kind of rinsing it out after all that sort of forward bending hip work. At the front of your thighs, breathe. Let your little belly breathe. Open up between the ribs. Reach out with the arms. And then go ahead and let it settle. Scoop your knees in. You can catch the insides of your knees. Scoop them in. Bring your feet together. Let your knees drop open. We'll start really long spine, crown lifting. And then from the top down, like a cinnamon roll, first drop your chin. Stay there for a moment. Your hands can go wherever they need to go here, but really focusing on the spine. That, if you can go slowly from the top down like this, you can really feel each part of your spine. You can sort of get into the nitty gritty of your spine and try to go inch by inch, rolling down. Eventually, you can let yourself land in some shape that feels soft, round, head heavy, arms anywhere they need to be. And we're going to live here for a little bit. So make sure that it's sustainable, that you're on the good side of the edge. Let the body just be heavy, right? Feeling the weight of your body on the earth, your skeleton, your organs, all the way down to the bones, and even feeling into the bones. Feeling the breath inside your body and how the whole universe is breathing around you. You might even feel some gratitude for the people and the animals and the plants and the insects and the sky and the water, for the fire and the earth and all their joyful exertions that bless us every day, for the web of life under the soil, the roots of the trees that feed each other, the little earthworms and the mushrooms, for the birds, for the little tiny birds and the great big birds. And for the earth that holds us so that we don't fly off into outer space. For the care and love of thousands of generations of ancestors who came before us. And for our safety and our well-being and whatever health we may have. For our friends, our community, our togetherness here. And knowing that your body is all of that, there is no difference. As within, so without. Breath within, breath without. All the elements that make up you are the same, that make up everything around you. Go ahead and start to roll your way up slowly, and you could take one last sort of wiggle or shake out or anything you need. We're going to head down into Shavasana, but I invite you to really intuitively check in here and listen to your body. If it needs anything else, please honor that. Otherwise, you can little by little start to set up a place to rest for yourself. Fundamentally okay. The thing that needs to be fixed at this moment. You are worthy of rest and care. You could just notice your breathing again. Noticing how your breathing can begin to integrate with your awareness without forcing anything, just feeling the presence of the breath at your edges. Nothing to grasp, just lovely, open and spacious. Feeling the entire cosmos breathing around you. Start to wiggle your fingers or blink your eyes. There's no rush. You might curl up on your side, or you could hug your knees in and rock up to sit. Do a really tiny, really simple little breathing practice at the end here. So when you could do it from your back if you're still on your back or wherever you are, actually. Just to start with, just take a couple of easy breaths in and out. Noticing your nostrils, left nostril, right nostril. No rush with your next inhale. No hands. Imagine breathing in through your right nostril. And without hands, you're breathing out through the left nostril. And then you'll switch it and breathe in through the left nostril and out through the right. And one more time, in through the right and out through the left. In through the left, out through the right. This next one will be both sides, just inhaling deeply through both nostrils and out through both. And last one, inhaling through both. No rush. Whenever you get there, out through both, you might bring your palms together at your heart or leave them on your thighs or lay them on your chest. And may we all have more joy, more pleasure, less grimness this year. And remember as often as we can that in the midst of it all, somehow something is fundamentally okay. You want to join me? Let's finish it with Om. Om. Thanks, everybody.